This is Not Enough Podcast. I'm Trajan.
We're gonna restart it, man. Well, that was bad.
Wait, keep going.
Nah, I just want to restart it.
No, I like the witty banner we having right now.
We don't have witty banner. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, a little something.
All right. So there's one song that I like. This one that's playing right now. I don't know if anyone can hear it.
It's pretty trash.
It's a great song.
You're not gonna introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Brandon, by the way. And this is...
Oh, yeah, we can do a cultural update real quick. We're doing it.
We have not.
All right. A cultural update.
Well, we have to say what the name of the podcast is, though.
The name of the podcast is Not Enough Podcast.
Because it's not enough. There is not enough?
It's always enough.
Where you can never get enough.
You never can get enough.
Where you can never get enough. It's a place.
It's a verb? Noun. Adjective? Adverb?
It's definitely not. Okay. So, yeah.
Today we're going to talk about different social issues, dealing with a music video called I'm Not Racist.
Right. And in relation to that, do you have a cultural update for us today? Or?
Actually, I don't think I have one personally.
Nothing?
You got me thinking on the fly now.
Music.
Oh, what do you want to talk about music? You said you've been wanting to talk about music for a while. What you want to talk about?
Well, we can talk about Roy Woods.
Really? Right now?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I haven't listened to much of his album, but like...
Oh, yeah, he has a new album. I forgot what it's called. What is it called? He has a new album called Say Less.
And if you...
It's an absolutely phenomenal album because he's part of EXO, which is The Weeknd's label.
Right.
He's on The Weeknd's Prodigy.
Yeah. So why is that a thing, though? I just like...
Yeah, well, different artists have different prodigies.
Why? Who else has prodigies?
People probably don't like Kodak has like prodigy.
I like Prodigy. I do like
what's his name? Young Dolph has one. Yo Gotti, Black Youngster.
Yeah.
J. Cole has a few. He has his own label, so I guess those are his prodigies. Like Boz. Boz is pretty good. You like Boz?
Boz?
Yeah, that's
B-O-Z?
B-O-S.
I don't know who that is.
That's J. Cole's prodigy.
Okay.
He's pretty raw.
Cool.
Jay-Z with Kanye West.
Right, obviously. Kanye West with Chance? Is that?
Nah.
No, they're not?
Nah.
But he's like...
I also like Pusha T.
Okay, I see that.
Or anybody else on his label, like Big Sean and Side and Prince. But yeah, Roy Woods' album is pretty great, I would say. It sounds like Old Weeknd. I guess that's the feel that he's kind of getting.
And you like it because you think New Weeknd
I love the Old Weeknd. That's like my middle school, just greatness. But like New Weeknd is very... The Weeknd now is like more like... I feel like his label is just like trying to have him push more singles and have more different appeal to different races, which is not a bad thing. It's just it sounds like he's more like trying to go with more of a pop feel,
right?
More than less than the R&B.
I actually prefer R&B, so
that's what I'm saying. I don't like the pop Weeknd because I feel like he's too like upbeat. I feel like he's going to come out with another album just because Selena Gomez kind of broke up with him and immediately went back to Justin Bieber. So I feel like he's going to be kind of sad and maybe give us the old Weeknd that we wanted.
I'm kind of frustrated about that situation.
What?
Just the whole... Selena Gomez breaking up with him, going right back to Justin Bieber. Right back?
But it wasn't even like a month or two. It was like a week or two.
I mean, who am I to judge that relationship?
It feels like the whole publicity stunt, to be even honest.
And that's what I'm saying.
I feel like that's really random, like how they had that whole breakout and the whole sex tape thing and all that. And then Adam out immediately, they break up for multiple years and then gets another relationship and then coming back to Justin Bieber after 4 or 5 years. It's kind of intense.
So you think it was a ploy?
Yeah.
It's bull.
I think that sex tape thing was also a thing to boost up Justin Bieber's whole sex appeal, I guess, and Selena Gomez to branch off from on Disney, give it an adult platform.
I mean, it's a good strategy. It works.
Yeah.
So,
you have anything else? Any other albums that you've been listening to?
Oh, right. Snow Allegra, which I know you're...
I put you on it.
Yes.
I put you on
that
album.
You get credit for that. Fine. Yeah, you get credit for it. But I just love her so much. I love her music.
So now you like her now, huh?
Yeah. I was like... Right? I was hesitant at first. I didn't listen to her for a whole week.
I don't know who Snow Allegra is. She has a new album called Feels. It came out September-ish, October-ish. If you know Drake's Do Not Disturb song on Views, that's her song Feels. Time on Time. Yeah, that's Drake used that song, but that song been out for like years. That Time song by Snow Allegra.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I was like, cause it sounded like vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's exactly the same exact song. He just like basically gave her no credit or anything. It was really disrespectful.
Kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Isn't she Swedish and Persian?
I don't know. That's not really random. I thought she was like kind of. She's really hot. I don't know.
She's Swedish.
I don't know.
Because like one of her songs is in Swedish, like an entire song is in Swedish.
And I also put you on Black Bear.
Yeah.
Shout out to Black Bear.
I do. And he has a new album out. It just came out, right?
I didn't listen to it all the way.
I haven't listened to it at all.
This one, he seemed like he's getting a lot of like love from black artists now.
Yeah, he's going into rap a little bit more.
Yeah, like this new album has mostly like 2 Chainz, Cameron, Machine Gun Kelly, T-Pain, Rick Ross.
Yeah, why is he
Paul Wall, Riff Raff?
What's happening there?
I don't know. I listened to like a few of the songs and I'm not feeling it. I feel like he just branched off completely like the whole lane that he was starting.
Yeah, I like the
to
first
something
album.
that's really doesn't feel like it's him.
I don't like it.
Like this new album doesn't feel like Blackberry. And like this album literally just came out. His debut album was like a few months ago. And he already came out with a second album just completely like a few months later. And it's like we didn't need it though.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have waited later, but the first album was fire. Like it was like it felt like a different pace of things. It was like he's a white artist that does R&B and soul, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's sounding like he's trying too hard in the second one to get like more like a black appeal, and it wasn't necessary because it felt like he was already crossing genres. But now he's trying to make it known that like I don't want to be like a white R&B rapper. I want to be like I don't know what he's trying to be like.
White rapper.
He's not rapping though. He's like singing.
Yeah, it's weird though.
But the first album was great. This one, I have listened to it some more. I'm not sure.
Well, all right.
Any other albums? Any other artists that you want people to know about?
I think that's it for me today. Yeah, that's all I got for today.
I have a new artist I've been listening to, Skizzy Mars.
Oh, actually, do you know who that is?
He's actually pretty good.
The one he did the Red album, right?
I don't know. I've been listening to a song on Slip and Slide.
Oh man,
absolutely one of his best songs. He's actually an underground artist. Like he's like mostly on SoundCloud. He has like 1 or 2 albums on iTunes, but like they're all right.
This is the album. The Red Balloon Project.
I didn't listen to it. I would listen to the All Alone Together album.
It's good too. Alcoholics is my favorite song.
Also, to be honest with you, I've been listening to the Lady Bird soundtrack. It's actually a pretty peaceful soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we went to go see Lady Bird. It's actually a great movie.
Really solid.
Watch out for it during the Oscars. I promise you, like it's going to get something. It's going to have to get something. It's an absolute fabulous movie. And the soundtrack, I don't know why I like it, but it's like it's pretty good.
Okay, all right. Well, that's it for me. Is that it for you for cultural updates as far as music and stuff?
Nah, let's just get right into the
our discussion on race and social media to some degree.
And we also have a few guests. We have Eric, we have Allison, one of our special guests, and we also have Kevin
and Jared.
Oh yeah, and Jared. And shout out to Kevin. This will be his last podcast for a while until next summer because he is moving to Germany.
Yeah.
But we will be getting some interviews from him in Germany, so stay on the lookout.
We'll do some like little bonus clips with him just talking about stuff in Germany.
Yeah, he might get some German fans.
Yeah, hopefully. If you're listening to this and you're in Germany, just tell everyone to look out for one of our crew members.
All right, let's get right into the discussion.
All right.
We are not racist at this table.
Oh,
just clarifying.
And that's what we're opening with.
Well, actually, by definition, black people are unable to be racist. In fact, only white people are able to be racist. So actually, the definition of racism is putting another. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart.
We have a designated Caucasian person at the table.
Yeah, he's here to simmer me down.
So he's gonna just assume him and Kevin
are gonna defend the white people.
Okay, but anyways, back to what I was saying. By definition.
Never mind. Not like that. Just
by definition, racism is defined by putting another group of people down. But you have to be in a position of power. So because of the hierarchy here in America, white people are at the top. No matter what. It doesn't matter if we're at A&T and Jared over here is at A&T too. And he may be the only black person, the only white person on A&T's campus. But he's still considered the majority. Even though he's a minority on campus, he is the majority in the United States of America. Therefore, he is on top. Therefore,
I feel like
he has more
about
power.
white privilege.
Therefore,
I'm
talking about like.
Related, but
and may I retort?
Wait,
go ahead.
I will. Okay.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm not on your side, so I'm gonna say it real quick before. Like I'm.
Black people can be prejudiced though.
No,
what? We can be
I was just
prejudiced
saying-
as hell. Oh yeah, we'll dog.
racist
We'll
thought.
still. But
Like,
it's
black
not.
people
But
can-
it's not racist.
No, I
It's
know.
prejudice, but
Right.
it's not racist.
No, I was just gonna
I'll
say
say
that.
this.
I can't systematically put white people down.
owns-
They can do that to me, but I can't do that to them.
Who owns the most? Who owns the most
you date a
business
white
in
guy?
America?
The most business in America?
Who owns the most business in America?
Not white
Oh,
people.
she has. Okay. Yeah.
Asian people own the most businesses in America.
That don't
Who
make
owns the
them-
second most businesses in America?
Probably Middle Eastern people.
Jewish people own the second most.
Okay.
Who owns the second least businesses in America?
White people?
White people.
Okay, but if a whole bunch of Asians just decided I'm sorry, that sounded really weird, but that's cool economically or whatever. But if a group of Asians just like decided one day they would just revolt against white people, what do you really think is gonna happen?
Oh, they're gonna die.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it does not matter where you are. If you're in America, white people are always going to be on top. Okay. So let's lead that into that video, that really nice music video by who did that? What's that? Jordan Lucas. And he made a music video. The song was fire. It was a 7-minute music video titled "I'm Not Racist," and everybody really loved it. Everybody really thought it was powerful. Everybody really banged with it, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. First of all, I found it on Twitter before I watched it on YouTube. So, of course, on Twitter, they can only show, like, parts of it. So I watched the first minute and 20 seconds of it, and I'm thinking it's this white dude saying the N-word, and then he dropped the hard ER. I was, like, finna throw my phone.
ER is not okay,
yeah, definitely not the hard ER. And I'm just watching this video, and I finished it, though. And I watched it, I was like, this isn't good. And everybody was like, wow, this is so powerful, so thought-provoking. Wow, this really makes you think. And I'm like, yo, did you really not know that white people already thought like that? And did white people not already know that black people think like that? And I felt like, I watched the rest of the video, and I just watched the video and I was like, isn't this the same dialogue that we've been having for a good, 100 years now? Like I already know that if I get in an argument with a white person about race, they're gonna bring up the same 5 things. Slavery happened so long ago. Well, you can say the N-word and I can't. Well, what about welfare? Well, what about black on black crime? And what about broken homes? And black people are always gonna have the same 5 rebuttals. Okay, well, my great grandma was a slave, and they're gonna talk about suffrage and how we really just got the right to vote. Really, like, was it even 50 years ago?
Maybe 50.
That's crazy. Maybe 50. How old are our parents? Anyways, my mom is 53. My mom was 3 years old when black people were all just now allowed to vote. Then we bring up some stuff about the flag and Kaepernick, and it's just the same stuff. And I was like, wow, this is the literally same exact thing in a different format with a catchy beat and a catchy little tune and some nice rhyming lyrics. I was like, this is cute or whatever. Like, if this is just now waking you up, that's a red flag. Like, if this is just now making you think, that was a red flag to me. Like, wow, like, y'all are starting to put 2 and 2 together, and 2018 ends in like 4 weeks. Okay. But I think, it was like, okay, it's not that bad. It wasn't that bad until the last thing that one of the last things that the black guy said was, let's just agree to disagree. And that's what made me flip the whole table. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. I get it. 2 opposing viewpoints. This is cute. This is precious. I like this. And then the black guy was like, well, let's just agree to disagree. I said, whoa. Throw the whole phone away. No, we're not agreeing to disagree on anything. Because if you agree to disagree on something like racism, things like systematic oppression will never end. Like, there's a difference between you like pineapples on your pizza and I don't. You think it's delicious. I think it's nasty. We can agree to disagree on that. That's an opinion. Racism is not an opinion. It is not an opinion to suppress a group of people and then just kind of be like, oh, well, I'm not racist. My best friend's black. I have a bunch of black friends. I have a black cousin. Like, okay, that's cool or whatever, but your silence is literally killing me and every other brother and sister in America I am connected to. So I can't agree to disagree with white people. Like I can't get into an argument and just be like, you know what, whatever, you're just gonna be racist, and my family probably will end up in poverty because of your racism. Whatever. Like, no, it don't work that way. And that's why I didn't like it. And that was my opinion. I'm gonna sit out for the rest of the conversation.
Okay. All right. Who has rebuttals?
No, I honestly wouldn't. Jared, do you have any?
As the token white guy.
Wow, were you really? Because I was a token black person in high school.
There you go, we relate. And I wish I could say I disagree with all of your points, but I don't. Because the agree to disagree, that's not okay. You can't just, as something as serious as racism, you can't just say, oh, we'll talk about it later. Or, it has to be addressed, especially with things how they are now. It's,
I want to interview you. When you talk about racism, do you get uncomfortable?
Not really, because,
Because he's not racist.
Well, when you kind of say that, it's like, it makes you look more racist when you're white.
Yeah, I'm not racist.
If you're talking to a group, and you're like, the first thing you start off with is, well, I'm not racist, but...
Right? Yeah. You're indicating that you might be racist.
You're going to say something racist.
You're going to say something racist.
Well, I mean, I think...
Oh, God, Kevin's racist.
Here we go.
Well, let's talk about this for a second.
Jesus, what accent? What European accent is that?
Tell me why is that?
No. What I was going to say was, I think that kind of speaks to the fact that people have to, how people feel like they have to say that now, because if they don't, then they're going to be put in the box of you are automatically racist unless you say otherwise.
Do you know what white tears is?
Which is, I think that's something that actually should be addressed. The fact that we've gotten so polarized in our politics and how we do everything, that people on both sides feel like they have to say they have to validate their character before they can go into a conversation.
And I think another thing is that, even though I say all that, I think the black community needs to check itself too, because we're really we're united when we want to be united. We come together when we want to come together on issues that we when what's that boy name? Oh my God, Lord forgive me. When Mike Brown died, first of all, Mike Brown got shot 15 minutes from my house, and when Mike Brown died, oh my God, the city ain't never came together so quick. St. Louis was one city for once. I've never seen that before. But other than that, it's segregated, and I just know black on black crime is real and it's sick, but we don't talk about it. We really don't. So it's kind of hard when white people say to me, well, what about black on black crime? And I'm just kind of I don't know what Ray and Tootie be arguing about. I don't know what sort of
it's a byproduct.
Exactly. It's a byproduct, but that's all I can say. But they don't. I'm not gonna say they don't understand. I feel like it's kind of hard when you're not in somebody else's shoes, right, and when you're not in that environment. It's kind of hard to explain something. It's kind of hard for white people to explain something to me. My friend was mad because financial aid didn't give her any money, and she was like, financial aid told me that my dad could pay for me to go to Vanderbilt alone. I'm so mad. I was like, what? I was like, financial aid won't give me any money because they think my mom is not that broke. Financial aid is suspicious of how broke my family is, right? And it's but I could never experience what that is like for her, and she could never experience what that's like for me. And it is hard. It's really hard to put white people in the position of being a minority. First of all, it's a blue moon. Unless you go to HBCU, right, or you're living somewhere like the hood, then you'll experience it. But even then, you still have that upper hand. Yeah. At HBCUs, white people get full ride scholarships because they're minorities. Just like we go to PWIs and we get full ride scholarships because we're minorities. Hey, question, is this real? Get that out of my face. Is this real? Do white people really think that all black people go to school for free? Okay, I have a white friend who goes to a PWI. She was like, yeah, I have white friends who think you all go to school for free. I was like,
the fuck?
I think most of that comes from white people who grow up in privilege.
Okay, so they really
They just assume that, like,
they think
I think it's more of a thing where they grow up in privilege, and when you're privileged, you're only around other white people.
Oh, and you're like, if I go to school, like,
why do I have to pay and they don't? They all go to school for free, but they don't realize. Oh, another question. I have a lot of questions for you because I hear a lot of things from my white friend, but it's just like I have like 3 white friends. Actually, my best friend is white, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I love white people. My best friend, I've known her since I was 3 years old. That's my girl. I did when the white people say, "Oh, what? I dated a black guy." Yeah. I did that, but I did it, but I get to do it because I'm not racist. I'm just prejudiced. Anyway, y'all know that was a joke. I was not.
This is not the same.
No,
Racism and prejudice? No. But anyways, I explained it. But this is my other question for you. Do some white people really think that racism isn't over? Well, racism is over because like we have scholarships and we have all these opportunities and we have all our own like organizations and stuff like we have received things now. So it's kind of like, why are you guys asking for more? I guess. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I think that also comes from a place of
privilege,
just being separated from other cultures.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I have a black friend, but I grew up.
The way you said that.
I grew up with
black people.
Hanging out with black. I didn't go, I'm going to hang out with this black person.
You're just like, this is my homie.
This kid has a 60-inch TV in his house, and he plays Crash Bandicoot, so I'm going to go hang out with him.
Right.
Yeah,
so, that's kind of, that's how
I hang out with you guys. I'm not like, I'm hanging out with
some black people.
Yeah. I'm hanging out with people I like talking to.
Yeah.
Me and Brandon listen to kind of the same music.
I would say I'm hanging out with a white boy. This is an experience. I haven't hung out with white people in so long.
I think I can kind of attest because I haven't hung out with black people in so long. Like, I'm a military brat, so every place that I've lived is a military base. So it's always been me being like one black guy in a school of white.
I went to a PWI high school, so basically I was used to around that, and I lived in a military town myself. So being around different races is kind of like,
Does that get you used to like just their culture?
Yeah, well, it's the whole intercultural thing.
I'll say that the one thing that I liked about it, well, I mean, I liked a lot of things that I've just, that's been in my life. But one thing that I wish that we had more of is that it was such a culture clash when I moved from whenever I was in my town to an HBCU. I never actually grasped the fact that I was a black guy until I went to HBCU, because I've never seen that many black people
in my whole life. I'm telling you, I said the same thing.
Did you know something growing up?
And that's a good thing and a bad thing because
But you know something. I'm sorry to cut you off. Going here, okay. I never thought coming from PWI high school, I never thought I would actually be at it. Like HBCU.
I did.
Like I never thought that. I'm like, I don't want to go because they were talking about like I don't want to go to school with a bunch of niggas.
That's real. Like I didn't want to.
That was my main thought process. And
that's
it's like,
real.
But then again, and I hate to say it, when I first filled out the application, I was saying to myself, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try this out because I knew coming here I would get my work done. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I went to a PWI and party with a bunch of other people, and I don't mean to sound racist,
white people know how to party.
I would have not did my work.
So, are y'all saying that y'all didn't like grow with like a lot of black people?
So actually, when I grew growing up, I went to predominantly. I remember in the 3rd grade, it was only me and one other black girl, and I didn't realize it until sometimes the black girl didn't come to school, and I would realize I was the only black person in class.
Isn't that weird when you realize
and it's weird because I honestly didn't realize that for a while. So growing up, in the 6th grade, I remember I only hung out with white people, and I got picked on by the black girls. The black girls picked on me because my hair was long. They called me an Oreo. They said I only like white people. Like they talk so bad about me. But what happened was I got so mad about it that I literally ditched all my white friends and I started hanging out with black people to try and be more black. And I was like, I didn't like it. I was like, oh my gosh, they're so ratchet. Right. I'm trying to fit into a stereotype. I said, oh my gosh, they're so ratchet. They're so ghetto. They would come over my house and they'd be like, wow, your house is so big. You got a finished basement? Y'all, I have a 1-story house with a finished basement. And I be in white people's house who be having like an upstairs on top of that, and then the attic, and then the finished basement, and then they got the TV. Like, and I was like, y'all really ain't seen nothing before. So it was just like, I came to A&T like Kevin did, and I literally had never seen that many black people in my entire life. And I've never seen that many smart black people in my entire life. That's another thing. A lot of the niggas that I knew was dumb niggas, and that was it. And I came here, I said it was dumb niggas.
Check this out.
Yeah, I'm from Missouri. Tornadoes.
But she's honest though, and I'm gonna tell you this why. Because growing up in a PWI, she's absolutely right. Because growing up around a bunch of black people, and the black people we had in high school, they were just ignorant as hell. Yeah. So of course you had some of the white people looking at me as an example off of them, like, oh, okay, he's just like the rest of them,
Right.
Because they would act so ratchet and so crazy,
right,
and would make me look bad. Because like I said, obviously I'm not a racist. I'm not like one hand white people, but just my whole character would be banged up, and they would base me off, okay, you're just like the rest of them, ignorant, loud, crazy, and it was awful because you got PWI, you got this certain amount of black people.
There's so much,
and they just go so ratchet. You got the the
other group that's really, really smart. They're really academic. They're really on top of their stuff. Oh yeah, then you have athletes, but. I mean, I think what made me mad and what made me decide to go to A&T was, besides Michael Brown getting shot and a lot of my white friends not understanding why it was a big deal. After that, I realized that, wow, wait a second. They're mocking my culture, like they would like do dances and like they would like yeet and dab and they like think it's funny, and I'm like, wow, they're really mocking and stereotyping like black culture right now. And then they would say things to me and be like, right, Ellis, and I was like, yo, like, shut up. And I remembered in history class, I snapped. It was a room of 30 kids and only me and 4 other of them were black. So it was 5 black kids in a room of 25 white kids, and I'm going off. I was like, y'all never understand what it's like. Yeah. And everybody was just looking at me shook, because they were like, oh, like, now we kind of get it. Like you can't yeet and dab and then be in the Young Republicans Club and form a group and show a video about how Black lives don't matter and how white privilege isn't a thing. There was a real video on the internet saying how white privilege is not a thing and how black lives do not matter. And it's like, you cannot show that. You cannot show that and then be in my face like, yeah, right, Allison? Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm so sorry.
I think it's so interesting because it seems like we came from such a similar background. Like, we came from different but similar backgrounds, but I feel as though we have such complete different like ways about going things or ideas just about the world. And I think, but that's cool. I like that.
See, because black people are not a stereotype. We are all people. We're just people, Right. So we all had different reactions to things. Yeah, we all go in different directions.
Yeah, right. Like, growing up in a military town, everybody was like rank and file. We did
a bunch of interracial kids.
And if you weren't rank and file, then you were ratchet, whether you were black or white, and and you did not want to be with those guys. So it was such a.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a different type of world.
And then you had the white, black military guys who try to act white, and you would be sitting there like, dude,
did I do something?
You a nigga, like, period.
Holy shit.
And I'm serious. It's like, I remember one time, like. It's the truth.
What he was just saying. He was like a bunch of interracial people. Like, I was really red too.
No. Like, I'm just saying, it's the truth. About the interracial marriages and military, it's crazy. It's really like you get in the military. I'm serious because I understand what you're talking about that. Like, it's just like this one dude. Like, I think he was an officer. He acts like, I'm not gonna say he's Kevin, but he talks so white, and I'm looking at him like, you a nigga, like, period.
No, but that's real because I talk very, when I talk, when I'm like normally speaking, when I'm like not playing around and being ratchet, like I actually talk really, really, really proper. And I remember when I started hanging out with my hood friends, and when I started going to the hood, my homeboy was like, Allison, you say really, really ghetto things, but you say it with a white voice, and you might get jumped. And that had me shook because, you know, I'm literally walking up. I'm like, haha, hey, y'all, what's good, my nigga? How you living today? And they're like, well, what? Yeah, you know, what's poppin', slime? What's up, bloody? Like, haha, yeah, how are you? And they're looking at me like, yo, what the hell she got going on? So, you know, I had to be like, dang, like, I really have to sound like I'm from St. Louis. Like, and that doesn't come out of me until I turn up or until I'm around black people. Like, I got to A&T and I was like, I can talk however I want to talk without making people uncomfortable. Because you got to think, if I'm talking the way that I usually talk around white people, they're either going to think I'm ghetto, they're probably going to think I'm ratchet, I'm ghetto, I'm from the hood, I don't know nothing, I'm stupid. But in reality, it's all an accent. Like, you know, in the same way that some people think people from the South are like dumb just because of their accent. Like, no, it's literally an accent. But the St. Louis accent is so country ghetto. Like, we say her. Like, I went to the store over her. There. Like, we all sound like Chinky. If you ever heard Chinky, that's literally all of St. Louis. We all sound like Chinky. I like that way.
That's hilarious.
Like, you know,
when I lived in Texas, it was in Texas, there was so much. It's a southern state. It's a really southern state, but it's really not white if you think about it.
It's integrated so crazy. You got different type of nationalities.
But I will tell you, man, back in like kindergarten and elementary school, man, like it was not.
You said what?
I will start off the sentence by saying I am not racist or prejudiced. But
let's hear it.
Let me tell you, it wasn't the white people you had to worry about. It was the Mexican kids you had to worry about.
What? Yo, I've never been around Mexican people a day in my life, so I can't relate.
Dead ass. I go out into the playground to play with all my friends, and there is a clique of like Mexican kids. They're like, oh hey,
it's crazy.
Hey yo, you look loco. Come over here. I'm like, oh no, please don't. No, I'm trying.
Wow, this is real though.
This is real.
Listen, just listen.
They will beat your ass just
you gotta
because.
Think, yo.
Come to Texas, you feel as if you're in Puerto Rico or Mexico. I promise you.
The Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, y'all.
They're everywhere.
What? But where are you
haven't
from?
met Texas. But
You've never met like
been to Texas.
What? This is so real. Like my whole life, it was just white and black, and I grew up around white people. I come to A&T, it's only black people, and I've never seen like there are other races out there. You know, Mexicans drop the Mexicans say nigga like they're niggas. I'm sorry, that was wrong.
They kind of
Mexicans say the N-word.
Can we go to McKevin? What's saying?
Mexicans say the N-word like they're niggas.
Yeah, I know.
They say nigga like they nigga. I'm sorry, I can't keep saying that. N-word, can I?
Trey, in the background, there was like a little conversation. Trey was like, "This is so not right to talk about it," and I'm just saying, "Oh, so we can talk about all the problems with white people all day long on this, but white people and black people, but we can't talk about other people."
No, we're not saying that, but you see what you're doing? You're doing the same exact thing.
Now you're just being racist.
No, I'm not being. No, I started off by saying that I'm not. What I was saying. Hold on. Let me explain my reasoning.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me explain. I'm not saying that all of them are bad. Not at all. I'm telling you that when I was in Texas in my elementary school, this is the exact situation that happened to me. So it is not just a problem with one race. All races can be equally just as aggressive.
Because people are shitty.
Yeah. Yes, people are shitty people.
But Kevin, at the same time, imagine if Jared was like, but growing up in elementary school, man, it was always the black kids who. But then again, it's the back on black and white.
Just don't equate it with their race. Like,
no,
I mean, that's
a group of kids.
Then why are we equating it with the race with all the other things?
No, we shouldn't be. I'm saying that's what we should.
Are we having a don't pull the race car conversation?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I'm just saying
I'm just
that,
asking.
The shittiness that those guys
I'm just saying to prove a point. So if we're gonna have all the conversation about white privilege and this and that,
but
when can we pull the race?
But that's different.
Yeah,
that's different.
But you didn't have to tell them that there was Hispanic kids. You made it seem like just because they were Hispanic, that's the reason why you were terrified or whatever.
No, I never said I was terrified. I'm just saying they literally.
But if you said
it was literally just a group of Hispanic kids that came over and beat me up.
But if you said when I was a kid,
this is just the facts.
If you said I was a kid in the schoolyard and a group of kids used to beat me up, we'd be like, oh man, that's fucked up. But when you said it's a group of Hispanic kids, you made it seem like the Hispanic kids like.
No, because you have to
to
talk about it in context though, because we were talking about the racism of white people, and then we were talking about white people, so I said I was bringing it up with other races too. I'm not trying.
When are we not allowed to bring up color? Like this is a real conversation. The conversation got uncomfortable because we brought up their nationality and what they did. But if that would have been left out, it would have just been like, oh, you got your ass whooped. Like, okay, that's cool. So this is a question. This is a real question that I have. And this is a pulling the race card question, and not race as in like, I'm black. Race as in like, when is it acceptable and not acceptable to bring up somebody's race? Because even at my job, when customers are too uncomfortable to say like the black woman helped me, I'm not gonna get offended if you say the black lady up front helped me. But they're like, she looks like you, and I'm like, why would you?
Yeah, that's
now you see what I'm saying?
That's
like,
racist,
so even just being like, the black lady, I'm like, why are you whispering the word black like it's gonna make it different?
Word. Like it's scary.
Right. So then it's like, when can we be like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with this white boy the other day. Is everybody gonna jump on me and be like, whoa, why'd you bring up that he was white? Why couldn't you just say a boy?
And that's what I don't like about
what's boy. When can we say it?
Right. I envy Latin American, Mexican, and Hispanic culture. No, hold on. I envy those cultures because in those cultures, it is a thing. It is like it's a thing to say that oh hey fat boy, or oh hey white boy, oh hey black boy. It's
all cool.
And that's just how that's
the culture. Yeah.
That's the culture. That's how you point someone out.
Right. Okay.
But in here, people are just like, can I call you African American? Can I call you black?
Because it's a question of identity, and like it's just we view identity differently.
Why are we so hung up on labels?
But we get so scared about the labels. Why can't we just be open and fluid?
But even then, people still ask. If I say I was hanging out with Jared the other day, they might be like, was he white? Like if I say like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with Matt the other day, was he white? Yeah, Matt's white.
Because of the names.
Why? So why do we get so hung up on labels? Like some people even identify people by their sexual orientation. Like, oh yeah, I was with my gay best friend. Why can't you just call them your best friend?
That's a good point.
So my thing is, I think the problem, and I think this is where racism like low key all stems from. It's always been like a label sort of thing, like even you gotta think, even with like slavery, it was all just like labels. Were you a house nigga or were you a field nigga? Like were you massa or were you just like another poor white person who just had a weak farm? It's always been a label problem in America, and because we try and put these labels in these, y'all disagree?
Still nigga?
But anyways, it's like why do we get rich nigga, poor nigga, hood nigga? I'm sorry, but it's like why do we get so caught up with putting these different labels and categories of people in these just different sections? Why can't we all just kind of like mingle around? Like why can't
categorized? That's human nature.
Which is why I will say that
that's real.
An opinion that I know a lot of you will disagree with with, and I'm fine with that. An opinion
Don't make
that
me
I
flip
have.
this table.
Okay, that's fine.
ready.
Do it. No,
I'm ready to flip this whole table.
One
Let's hear
opinion
it.
that you guys will definitely not agree with
Let's
is
hear it.
I don't like identity politics. I
What
will
the fuck
never
is that?
I will
I'm so
never
sorry.
identify.
I'm so aggressive.
No, look, it's just like
So aggressive.
I will never identify as a liberal Democrat because I don't like that identity politics game. Because I do not like labels. I do not like being the black politician or being a representative.
Okay, but like, here's the thing though.
I like
You
being
don't
an
have to
individual.
identify- Well, yeah, you are. Right, but I'm saying you don't
But-
have to identify yourself as that, but everyone else is going to.
Yeah.
So the reason that people use identity politics is because other people are going to label you, so you label yourself first in order to just, you claim it for
gets out
yourself.
the way.
Well,
It's
I
like
say no.
N-word.
Well, then I just say no.
Don't
No,
play
I'm
it,
not going
dude.
to. I'm not going to
You
play
don't-
that game. I'm not going to support.
I don't say it yet. It wears me out. I can't.
If I'm not going to support a white racial group, I'm not going to support a black racial group because
Wait, what do you mean by that?
like you because like with Antifa versus white nationalism. Like if I don't support white nationalism, I'm not going to support black nationalism. I'm not going to play the color game. I want to live in a free and open society where we are all individuals rather than just racial
no one's
people.
arguing
races.
no one's arguing for that. But like,
Well, actually, America supports terrorists, and that's how we're gonna end this. America supports terrorists. Have y'all heard my? Have I already shared that theory in the podcast? How America supports terrorists theory.
can we maybe hold that for next episode about conspiracy theories? Because I actually have something for that. Yeah, I do have something for that.
Yeah, America definitely supports.
Wait, what terrorists?
Okay, this
Wait,
is
hold
if
on,
you-
just
this
tell me
this
this.
is in short, y'all. In short, in very short because I know it's late. In short, if we're going to support the KKK
Oh yeah.
and neo-Nazis,
Yeah.
then there's no way that we cannot support. Like you can't sit around and say you can't give the KKK and neo-Nazis like the pat on the back and like y'all messed up. Y'all can't keep doing this, but we're gonna keep letting you come to our institutions and speak publicly. Like we're gonna keep verifying your Twitter accounts. But as soon as back on social media, Twitter verified the Twitter account of like a neo-Nazi leader. Why? I don't know. But don't even say anything about ISIS. Oh my God. ISIS did this. ISIS did this. Brown people did this. Blase, blase.
See, that's what makes it okay.
So if it's brown and it's terrorists, then it's a problem. But when there's a mass shooting, when there is a mass shooting done in Las Vegas, I'm sorry.
Whoa,
when there's a mass
okay, we
shooting
can't
done in
talk
Las
about
Vegas,
this
we
Las
can't call
Vegas
this a
calling it
terrorist
a
problem.
terrorist attack.
How
We'll
is
have a
that not a
whole
terrorist attack?
discussion about
That
this.
whole
It is
thing
not
caused
politically
terror.
motivated.
I don't give a fuck if it's not politically motivated.
But
You
that's the
just went-
definition
you-
of terrorism. Terrorism.
Just like that. Oh, just like I said about racism.
Political gain. We
Say that
did
again.
not. The definition of terrorism is to use fear and terror for political gain. The Las Vegas shooting was not. We don't have anything political. It was, in fact, it was a personal gain. It was not. Political, so it cannot be a terrorist act.
But you're still scaring hundreds.
But that means that any
thousands of
crime could be
people.
terrorism, and we could go with the laws for terrorism for everything, and that is a. If I say that someone shoots
You
someone,
say that wasn't a terrorist attack?
no, it wasn't.
By definition, hey, in the same way that if Jared
What
said,
hap-
Allison, you're racist, I said, oh, by definition, technically I'm not. So I get what he's saying, but at the same time, I still kind of.
What happens whenever
is
we start
crazy.
classifying every attack every shooting that causes terror as a terrorist act? Then we can start waging war against our own people because we have different rules and laws for terrorists versus
I
criminals.
still think America supports terrorists because we still love KKK and neo-Nazis, but we can't. When ISIS comes around, we get all pissed off.
Okay, so I guess with
we'll have a whole discussion on terrorism.
A whole discussion on that.
On-
I guess
and
that's- we're
conspiracy
gonna-
theories.
Obviously, we're gonna like cut this conversation short. We'll leave it up on the next time. But
I hope that everybody enjoyed this episode of Not Enough Podcast. Once again, be sure to like and subscribe to our SoundCloud account. Make sure you subscribe to iTunes as well. We're big on that. Follow us on all of our little social media pages. Even though we slammed social media today, we still want y'all to be active on it. We be on the Twitter and we be on the Instagram. So if you ever want to pull up for an interview, hit up. Oh, and Facebook. Not enough media. Just look it up and
At
we're
gmail.com.
there. At gmail.com. Once again, thank you to Jared for pulling up and popping out today. I really hope you're a regular, just because it's always nice to have a second opinion, even though you didn't talk that much because I talk too much. It's still always good to have that second opinion there. That way I'm not just saying all these things that aren't fact and you can call me out. So once again, thank you all. This is Allison.
This is Trajan.
This is Kevin.
This is Eric.
This is Jared.
This is Brandon. And this is Not Enough Podcast.
Well, you can never have enough.